What's going on? In this episode, we're going to be wishing a happy birthday to a brewery that is not exactly a 518 brewery, but their beers have been popping up everywhere. You can find them at Oliver's. You can find them at... I just picked up a bunch of beer over at the Latham Beverage Center out there by Newton Plaza. So it's an awesome beer.
It is a New York beer.
It is a New York. It's from New York.
We haven't gone outside our borders.
No. Well, we have in the past, but,
At least with this week.
Yeah, not this week. We're staying in New York. All right, that's coming up in a couple of seconds.
The Capital Brew Podcast with 20 North Dave and Nick Lee. What's brewing in the 518?
All right, what's going on, everybody? Dave, how are you doing?
Not too bad. How are you?
I'm doing very well. You just got back from vacay.
I did.
And what'd you do?
I went camping up at Lake Lila in the northern Adirondacks.
Awesome. Beautiful up there.
It was gorgeous. We couldn't ask for better weather, let me tell you.
It's funny, in last week's episode, we were at Great Flats, and there happened to be a what do you call it, a newsletter that was there?
Sort of like that, like North Country, talks about what's going on in the Adirondacks,
You pointed at this most beautiful photo, and you said, that's where I'm going to be in a couple days. Tomorrow.
Me and everyone else, it turns out.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there was a lot of people up there. It was tough to find a site. Every parking lot and trailhead was packed. Yeah. I mean, and understandably so. You know what I mean? Like, people can't really go out.
No,
out of the state.
Can't go traveling.
Can't travel.
Anywhere.
You know what I mean? So they've decided to utilize, what New York has to offer. And I'm like, New York has a lot. Let me tell you. And there were a lot of people up there enjoying it. Let me tell you.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and jump into our first beer. Our first beer is a IPA, and I apologize. I thought I was picking up a pale ale, I didn't.
Have we mentioned even the brewery yet?
We have not. We should.
That's probably one of the more important parts of this.
Let me start off by saying then, happy birthday, Industrial Arts Brewing. It's your 4th year in. You gave us a little bit of love on Instagram, so we figured we'd take this episode and dedicate it to 3 of your wonderful beers, including a new beer that I believe you released just for your birthday. But today, right now, this second, we're starting with Wrench, which I thought was the pocket wrench, but it wasn't.
Just Wrench from Industrial Arts Brewing Company. From where?
It's in Gardnerville, New York, just south of Newburgh and just north of Yonkers.
Yonkers. Yes, and today's is their Northeast India Pale Ale, which is the actual beer. The name of the beer is Wrench, which is
all the way from Northeast India.
Possibly, we try to figure that out. Either Northeast, yeah.
No, I think it's a little tilt of the cap to some of the beers that a lot of the brewers around here, like Fiddlehead, has been brewing in the area. In the
probably using a
lot of the same ingredients
from the Northeast. You know what I mean? Using local ingredients. It is 7.1, so. For an India Pale Ale, it's a little bit slightly higher, yeah.
Almost like a double IPA.
And it says it's got lush and tropical zest.
It does.
And I can smell it. In the smell of it, you can smell the tropical. It to me has a very immediate grapefruit.
Definitely grapefruit, not
flavor.
So piney.
Not really, and not very bitter.
Not bitter.
It has, but the grapefruit's very the front end of your palate, and it finishes very well in terms of
aftertaste.
It's very smooth, and you don't have a lot of that. You don't have a lot of that aftertaste. It's very clean.
And speaking of smooth, I mean, as for 7.1, I mean, you can taste the alcohol, but it's not overbearing.
No, it's
not singeing the nostrils.
Yeah, and it color wise, it's probably, I would say,
very close to a Piddlehead, a little darker,
probably not quite as hazy.
But it is a hazy.
Probably light. Yeah, it's hazy, so it is unfiltered to some extent. Not I don't think as much so as a Fiddlehead, but it certainly would be in the hazy, juicier, citrusy school or part of the IPA world.
Now, I too got away a little bit into the outdoors this week. So while we drink this beer, I will mention a little trip that a friend of mine and the beautiful Jessica took a trip out to Saratoga Lake, rented some kayaks, and we headed out onto the lake. I may have had a couple of drinks on board with me. It may or may not have been a beer that we're going to be trying today, a birthday beer from them. When disaster struck. That disaster, maybe because I did have a couple of drinks in me, I decided to do something that probably shouldn't be done in a kayak because they're meant to go in one direction. They're not meant to back up.
No, you're definitely
there's like
not
a little
supposed
fin.
to. There's a like.
What do you call that fin?
I think I mentioned it was I think it's a keel,
Keel.
sort of like a keel.
Yeah, it reminds me of like a little fin on a surfboard. It's a little bit more pronounced than a surfboard one, like more closer to a keel on a boat. And I decided to go in reverse, and I was paddling backwards, and my kayak kind of tipped over.
Yeah, it's not designed to do that.
And very deep water.
Yes,
I had my cell phone on me. I had my keys on me. I had them in a plastic bag with a little bit of air, but literally my life passed through my eyes or whatever, and before my
Flash
eyes.
before your eyes. Yes.
Whatever.
Yep.
Through my eyes, between my eyes. It doesn't matter. I thought that my cell phone was going to sink to the bottom of the lake, even though it did float the way that I planned it on doing it. And I panicked a little bit. And I was taking my paddle, my oar.
Your paddle.
Yes. Oar paddle.
Yes.
And I did this little tornado thing that pushed the boat back up straight, and then I started scooping with the paddle, the water out, even though I did not sink.
Which is good. We all appreciate that.
I was able to make it to shore.
Yep.
And dump it out.
Did you lose any beers?
I did. I lost. I had one open. I had a
Casualties.
beverage open in the boat. But I heard you had a similar story.
I did. I was paddling with somebody. Who I haven't paddled with before, and part of the trip is you actually have to bring all your equipment down to the water and put it in a canoe and canoe it out to a site. And like always, it ended up being very windy. And this Lake Lila is, not a particularly large lake, but it's got some wide water. And if it gets windy, you get some decent waves. And if anybody has canoed or kayaked before, you realize that you really can't. You can only really paddle it directly into the wind,
like
into
a
the waves
wake or something. Yeah,
because you can get into trouble. So we're searching for a site, and unfortunately, we couldn't find one. So we had to essentially paddle the length of the lake, directly into the waves and wind, and then, a little bit of wave comes over the side, a little bit, he's up front, he doesn't realize it, so we have to turn around, and of course we need the winds and wave at our back, and we're continuing to look for a site, but obviously
a little more,
you realize once you take on a little water, you're not getting any higher in the water, you're getting a little lower, and Jade, obviously I didn't say anything, so he's up front, he didn't realize it, so we finally are getting close to where we think is a site, and he starts, kind of not paddling, like not paying attention, and he's like, we're almost there. And I said, listen, not to be a
Debbie Downer,
but listen, we're kind of taking on water here, and I would, I'd recommend we probably get off the water as soon as possible. And he says, seriously? And I said, yeah. I'm like, he's like, well, come you didn't say anything? I go, well, listen, I didn't want to panic you. We're around the middle of the lake. I'm like, but I think we need to get off the water as soon as possible.
Plus, Dave, I don't know, you happen to have, and there's been times where I can't tell if you're upset or if you're happy, like you're just this even keel.
Well, I didn't want to panic my partner or anything. That's probably the worst thing. So.
Well, even if you did, I think it wouldn't have been much different than like, hey man, we should get off the lake.
Yeah, he said he noticed that I said it with kind of a casual attitude when he realized that when we got off the water, we had quite a bit of water in the boat. More than we should have. And, he's like, you should have said something. I'm like, yeah, I didn't want to worry anybody. But, yeah, it was probably a dangerous situation.
All in all.
But we lucked out.
You lived.
Yes.
You didn't die.
All is well. We made it.
Let's hop into our second beer.
All right. That's not a problem. What do we got here? It looks like it's Metric. Metric. According to it, it is a Pilsner-style lager. It's crisp and herbal. The alcohol content is 4.7, so it's a little lighter than the one we just had.
Nice. That's something that's what we call all day beers.
Oh, sorry, listeners, it might be loud in the mic, but it's a great sound. Wouldn't you agree?
It's beautiful.
All right, let me see yours first.
All right. Well, neither one of us are.
I think we're looking at basically a very light, summery beer here. I mean, I want to say, certainly looks like a light.
It smells like lemonade.
Really, it's definitely got something there, a
little citrusy.
But generally, pilsners are, lighter, smoother, cleaner beers.
The first taste that I get is a little bit of a piney taste. Then it quickly goes into a citrusy, mellow lager taste.
Yes, it's not as crisp as I thought it would be.
Yeah,
it's
since it's in the name.
It's a little softer and mellow. Yeah, it's a little softer and mellower than it doesn't have a real crisp bite to it.
No, the only crisp as far as refreshing, I think is a good word for it.
It reminds me of the older style beers that before IPAs were real popular.
Schlitz.
You know, I hate to say this. I was going to say Utica Club. But I'm hoping
That's
that
fine.
maybe
Isn't Utica Club?
It's awesome, but hopefully, the industrial arts people aren't going to harsh me for comparing their beer to Utica Club.
Well, I said Schlitz. So.
See, yeah, you're probably in much bigger trouble than I am on that one.
We do love your beer, by the way.
I hate to tell you. I mean, and I love Utica Club. I'm not going to lie. I want to appreciate. I've been out to that brewery many times. Matt's Brewing Company is excellent. But I hate to tell you, it's one of the first things I thought of when I took a sip. I'm like, wow, it really is kind of like a Utica Club.
Yeah. Doesn't who's the brewer? Saranac. Don't they make Utica Club?
No, it's Matt's Brewing Company.
Yeah.
Utica Club was their flagship beer.
I believe it was.
If anybody who's my age will remember Matt's Beer Balls.
Yeah.
The
didn't they
classic
didn't
high
they start
school.
off with a Saranac? They started off with something.
No, Saranac is part of part of the Matt's Brewing Company.
Something happened.
Saranac was probably at one time
Prohibition.
an independent. No, it was an independent, and I think Matt's might have bought them out, or they were independent and they needed more brewing facilities. And at the time, Matt's wasn't really making a lot of beer, but they had huge, excellent facilities. And I want to say Saranac went through them. Now I'm not, don't quote me on that because I want to say that Saranac is now owned by Matt's.
Okay.
But, getting back to it, the Matt's Beer Ball is classic.
I thought I read something that there was something like a brewery, and then Prohibition happened, and they started making soda, and then when Prohibition stopped, since they still had everything ready to go, they started making Utica Club was the first beer out of Prohibition.
You know what? That could be true. I don't have that knowledge. I can't say the truth or falsity of that statement. But
Sorry.
what do you think about the beer overall?
I think it's delicious, and I apologize. My mother, whose birthday is today, is texting me and asking if I'm still coming because I've been dragging my heels all day. So
you gotta make sure you take care of that,
bro. We're gonna smoke calzones on the
oh wow
on the smoker.
You got room for more?
Yeah.
One more?
We're gonna take our gravy, our sauce, and we're gonna throw that up on there too with a cast iron pan, and we're gonna try to smoke that sauce.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I do apologize. But yes, the beer is delicious.
Yes.
It's refreshing. I like my all day beer. I like day drinking.
Yeah, this is traditional. Yes, traditional
I like night drinking,
all day.
but I like day drinking too. And this
all
is something.
great.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is if we get into our next beer, day drinking, we're not going to make it till
night drinking.
Yeah, we won't make it till night drinking.
It's one or the other.
Yeah.
Nope, but this beer is excellent in terms of not being overly overly in your face with any flavor or style or aroma. Very. I want to say mellow. It's really
mellow is a good
It's
word,
really the feeling I get with this. It's the mellowness.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a hard edge. It doesn't have a crispiness. Where I kind of like when I saw Pilsner, I'm thinking of that like a Pilsner Urquell. That has a crisp edge. But then I realized on the can it says it's a Pilsner-style lager.
Yes, so it's a lager.
So obviously, probably where the mellowness comes from.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yep, I gave way more to myself. I apologize.
No, that's fine. I bought 4-packs.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, the guys in the kitchen drank the rest of those.
It's like $20 a 4-pack too.
Well, I'll have them work it off. I'll trade you wings.
All right. For my mom's birthday, your wings are delicious. Those should be $20 a 4-pack. Or 4 wings. Though I only want drumsticks.
No, see, that's terrible. No, you got to eat both.
Do you have people that come in and
all the
ask,
time?
I just want drumsticks.
But I will say this: it's usually wing. People prefer the wings. They ask for
the
flats.
Yep.
Me, I don't care. I'll do either one. But I would say more often people ask for the flats than the drums.
It's funny.
It's nice when two people come in and somebody wants the flats and the other person doesn't even care. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Split them up. Give that person the drums, that person the flats.
I was just about to say the beautiful Jessica. She's a flats person, and I'm a drumstick person.
Well, that's perfect. That's a match made in heaven.
So we stopped over to Whitman. We stopped over to Whitman. I didn't even mention that yet. That we stopped over to Whitman in Saratoga. They have what is it? Walt and Whitman Brewing. Upstairs is Walt the coffee, and downstairs I believe is Whitman.
Oh, that's
Brewing.
the one that's right downtown on
the old Saratogian.
Right, it's right. It's right on the backside of.
It's the whole building.
Yeah, but I'm saying like on the backside
over by the Parting
police
Glass.
Station's right there.
Yeah, right down the street from the Parting Glass.
Yeah.
And half pints. Excuse me, I just keep burping. But anyway, we got some pizza and wings there, and their pizza was delicious. They call it Detroit style.
Yes, I've been there actually.
Have you?
For the Jameson tasting.
Oh wow!
And they did a really good job. They actually brought out different Jameson products and paired them with food that they made there. It was excellent.
Yeah, the food was. We had Korean barbecue wings.
Yep.
I got all the drumsticks. She got all the flats.
See?
So, all right. So what's our next beer?
This last beer, or next beer, I should say, is Week 208.
That is, I believe, their birthday beer.
Is it really? Okay.
This is what I was drinking out in the lake.
Oh, well, I can see why you might have tipped it over. This is a double IPA with Galaxy and Amarillo, which I'm fairly certain are hop strains.
Yes.
And it is 8.2, so it's pretty obvious why you maybe
beer.
Weren't paddling so well.
I was paddling backwards.
Yeah, see? That's what happens. See,
But
boys and girls.
I went campfire at that night, or later on that night, and I posted the photos. And actually, no, it was the night before. I posted some photos with this can of beer by the fire, and Industrial Arts picked it up and put it part of their celebration. Go ahead, open it all the way.
Once again, I apologize. You can hear this.
Yeah, I like it. It's music to my ears.
Yes, it is. All right. What's your initial thought of this right here? It's definitely got some haziness to it.
It's a hazy beer. Hazy.
I would say, if anything, this looks much more like Fiddlehead. I mean, I guess we're
it does color-wise.
Yes, color and haziness-wise.
Yes.
We're using, I guess, Fiddlehead as our standard right now. I guess maybe
for Northeast
might be a little unfair.
IPA.
Yeah, but this is just simply a double, not a Northeast. So, especially, I'm pretty sure those hops are not from around here.
Now, since it's over 8%, can we age it?
I don't know if that's the case. I don't think so.
Because Kevin McCurdy says you want to stay over 8%.
But yes, it's also the type of beer that you're
Yes.
brewing will allow you or not allow you to do that. I'm pretty sure you can't do it with an ale or with an India Pale Ale.
All right, I haven't tasted yet. I mean, I've tasted this beer before, but I smell immediately. I smell the floral. I smell the citrus. I smell
just the hoppiness in general.
The hoppiness and the piney.
Yes, you can smell the hoppiness right off the rip.
But I still think the citrus is going to be higher on this than it.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
The initial shot of that, which I think I definitely notice a lot of pininess.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Not as much citrus. Yeah. I would say definitely it is that piney. I think that comes from those particular hops. I think they might be West Coast hops, which I guess are known to be a little more piney than floral and citrusy.
Yeah. I like piney. I've been burning pine in my fire pit, and it gives off this beautiful smell.
Yeah, I don't get much citrus.
There's a little. You smell the citrus,
but yeah, you don't get a lot of flavor.
It doesn't pop at you. It's more floral and more piney.
Yeah, absolutely.
So definitely really West Coast.
Yeah,
super West Coast. That's not the right can.
It also, maybe it's the particular brewer. None of these beers had much of an aftertaste. This one has a slight one. I think
it does
because it is a double. But as even as doubles go, I would say it's not as noticeable that the after that almost dryness you get in your mouth.
Week 208, so good. They've got another beer, that one that I tried finding today. One of our listeners hit me up on the gram, the Instagram, and he told me he posted a photo that they had posted. Said, you guys got to try this, and it was a double IPA made with Kolsch yeast.
Okay.
I don't remember, State of Something, I think is the name of it, but and Matt was the name of our listener. Thank you so much, Matt, for sending that out to us. I hope your name was Matt. I'm the worst with names.
I can almost taste even the alcohol in this beer. Do you notice that? You take a little sip, you can almost taste the alcohol in the beer.
And that's why I say it's when it stings your nostrils.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
This one stings your nostrils.
Definitely. You definitely notice it. Almost like you're having a cocktail where you notice a little bit of the alcohol taste.
Matthew Morgan was the guy who sent this to us. And the next beer that they have that's coming out, it's a double IPA with a Kolsch yeast, is called State of the Art Series.
Is this is Industrial Arts we're talking about?
Yes, Industrial Arts.
All right.
That's a very good-looking can, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
If you want to see that can, hop on to Industrial Arts Brewing's Instagram and check it out. It's their latest state-of-the-arts double IPA drops this week. It's so dank that they almost forgot to post about it.
So that would have been a good example of the new beer.
Yes.
Now, is this you said
I believe this
was their birthday beer?
Yes, I believe this is their birthday.
So
beer.
this is fairly new.
I believe it's fairly new. I could be wrong. Probably
should have done some homework there.
Well, here's the deal. Like I said, they tagged us and with their birthday beer. So I'm assuming, unless they just release this on their birthday every year, which could be the case. I smell your
Sorry,
wings.
everyone. His phone's a little slow.
No, the user is slow.
Well, maybe it's both.
No, it's definitely both because
We got Wi-Fi here. Are you connected?
yeah, I'm connected. Maybe their Instagram is just blank. Maybe they don't have anything.
I doubt that. It's their birthday after all.
It is their birthday. Oh, here we go. Show us how you 208. And you know what's funny is the guy at the beverage center. He's like, "Oh, all their new beers are right here," and he pointed this to the week 208. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's what the case is.
Wait, now is it the birthday beer? Are we giving these people false information?
No.
No, it's the birthday beer. Okay.
So
Yes, you're absolutely right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I doubted you.
now is it brand new? I don't know. It's their birthday beer.
Yeah, so we say it's got to be fairly new. They planned on it.
Happy birthday to us.
Happy birthday to them. Happy birthday to us.
Yeah. We just passed our second week anniversary.
Really?
Yeah. I sound like that girlfine. I was like,
I was
do you know
gonna be
how long
are we
we've
in
been
high school? Yeah, you know what? That's why that long pause. I wasn't sure if you were waiting for me to make that comment. I'm like, are we in high school? Like, or
I was drinking.
junior high?
And then it clicked to me.
It's our 2-week anniversary. Where's my present?
I'm like that girl.
I got a present for you.
Do you have any idea how long we've been?
Oh my! Is this a trick question?
Nah, bro. It's been an awesome. We've been doing it for longer than 2 weeks. It's been a really good trip. I took the week off last week to go out, and I met with Frog Alley. I met with Mad Jack. I met with Jay Hunter over at Hunters. I sat down with Kevin McClurkin again, and I like I said, we've got the meeting coming up with Whitman. So we've got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. We've got a local radio show that's going to come on with us too. So we've got a lot of things coming up here in the next few weeks. I can't tell you how excited I am. And the feedback that we've been getting.
Has it been good?
Yeah, I mean you've been in the woods.
Yes, I have.
So
enjoying myself. Profusely.
Matter of fact, I believe one of your employees here at 20 North said to me today, he's like, "Which episode is Dave on? I want to hear it." I'm like, all of them. Like,
damn it!
Your employees don't even know about the show.
I know I'm terrible. I know it. I'm terrible. I'm kind of shy about it, I guess.
So either way, it's been an exciting last few weeks, and I can't wait to see what this show produces. Plus, all the love that we've been getting from the different brewers and beer people, and it's just been awesome.
Yeah, it has been nice.
Yeah. Now we may or may not have gotten some free drinks out of it.
Well, we can't say. I think that would be unethical.
You should have been with me when I went to Magic. Oh my God, Brian over there. He's like, "Oh, you got to try this. Oh, you got to." I was like, "Let's save some."
We'll get to that. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll go over there. That'll be a fun one.
That guy.
Spend some time there.
How well do you know Brian the brewer over there?
Pardon me.
How well do you know Brian the brewer over there?
I mean, is this another trick question?
No.
I mean, we don't.
That guy's
he's
a firecracker.
We don't exchange Christmas cards or anything. But
you've had some conversations with him.
Of course,
such a good guy.
He's a great guy.
He's hilarious. He's full of energy.
Yeah, he's very enthusiastic about it. But then again, I want to say almost all craft brewers, I almost say, are of a type.
Yes,
they are very enthusiastic.
I'm starting to realize
I mean,
that.
it makes sense because
Yes.
who would want a brewer who's like who's like Eeyore from freaking
like, yeah, my beer's okay.
We made this beer. Obviously you want somebody that really cares and really has a lot of passion for it. I mean, because obviously that shows in the beer. Anybody can slap together a beer.
Yeah.
But to make it really differentiate it, to make it yours, you really got to care about what you're doing and
what's
how
funny?
you're doing it.
With him, he's kind of nonchalant about it. He's like, "Yeah, I got this beer. I use this ingredient, that ingredient," and then I'll say something like, "Well, isn't there only like 3 types of yeast?" And he's like, "Well, no, there's," and he starts like breaking it down. And like, in this beer, I did this and I did that, and he starts.
Well, he probably didn't. He didn't expect you to throw a little knowledge back at him. He wasn't ready for it.
Well, I mean, I've done a podcast with Kevin McClurkin. I am now a professor.
You are. Yep, it's certified.
I am a beer genius.
Yep, certified right now.
So, it may have been the couple of drinks that I had in me at the time, but when he got done dropping the knowledge, I looked at him. I said, "Look, man, from one straight man to another straight man, that was the sexiest thing I've ever heard."
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah.
And,
well, I was saying that to Brian.
You got to go through. You got to go through like a lot of. There's a lot of learning.
Yeah.
You got to really know your stuff. You can't just sling a bunch of ingredients in a pot, heat it up, and then sling it.
They say the key to a man's heart is through his belly. I think the key to a man's heart is through a beer bottle.
But that's also, I think, applies to the stomach.
Yes. Oh, I guess, yeah.
Sure. Where's it going? Well, eventually you know where it's going.
That's what I do. I don't know things and say stupid stuff.
That's all right. That's what this is all about. I figure that's our motto.
All right, man. Let's wrap up this episode. This is episode 6.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Time flies when you're
Can you
drinking
believe?
beer.
Yeah, 2 weeks, 6 episodes. You know what? Happy birthday, Industrial Arts
Happy
Brewing.
birthday.
Thank you so
We're
much
not
for the love that
singing,
you
no.
sent us. But, thank you. And continue. We hope to have many, many more birthday beers to sample.
All right. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, Nick Lee, not Seacrest, out.
Yes.